What's going on, ladies, gentlemen, and everything else in between? Welcome back to the finale of our little mini series of the advanced weapon overviews for Monster Hunter Wilds. Beta test, of course, at the moment, but that doesn't change the fact that we can still play with the weapons. This one is all about the bow, and by the looks of things, it has changed a lot. So if you're interested, stick around, find out the truth of the bow. Let's get into it, guys. Alright guys, so the bow, it's just like a typical bow, but you can charge attacks with it. You can use files to deal some more damage. It's very mobile. There's really not much else to really say to this. I mean, you have a thing called a dragon piercer, which is its main attack, which not really much more to say other than it's like a piercing shot, but it does more damage. Recently though, they added in a little tracker arrow. So basically, of course, I mean, you shoot the arrow and it'll hit the monster, and then you could be looking completely in the wrong direction and arrows will just fucking fly right at them. There's a few other things that they've changed about it that we're going to kind of get into with the hunt, and I'll kind of point them out as we go. But the bow, it looks like they changed a lot with, and it has a lot of potential in going to be probably a decent amount of more people's, maybe not their main weapons, but at least something that they're going to have. It also benefits from perfect dodging. Basically, it'll do that, and then on top of that, you will also get a full set of, or at least a giant chunk of your stamina back as well, which could be extremely, I wouldn't say game breaking, but game like turning, you know? So we're gonna go get ourselves a little Hornitoad hunted, and we will kind of break everything down as we get going. So let's have some fun, guys. So like I said, so this thing can benefit from file types. I guess not file types, but coatings. So you can benefit from this one. You have the poison coating and the power coating, which I should have looked into them a little bit more, but you can also have some other coatings. Of course, the power coating is the one we're going to be using because the little Hornitoad, the Chatacabra, I guess you want to call it that, it doesn't really benefit from poison as much as it should, but it does have its own unique effects that can be additive, I guess. But in earlier games, you would have to kind of put on like a little functionality gem or skill that gives you exactly what you need to be able to use those coatings. Like for poison, you would have to have the poison functionality coating, but I'm assuming that's changed a little bit. I wonder what the sneak attack would look like. Literally just shoot him in the ass. Okay. But in order to do that, you can just press Y and boom, I got my coatings, and it has a little bar to build up with. And these coatings can build up with time. I'm trying to see if I can get a... That was a perfect dodge, and as you can tell, my stamina went back up as well because, I mean... They wouldn't let me do it that time. But when you're charging it, you can do an arc shot like so, and those shots now can actually have certain arrows that'll come out. So let's do this, and they can also do that, and that is a great combo to just lure into as well, in my opinion. I should have dodged. Let me see if I can figure this out, and boom. So the tracer arrow, so whenever you're charging, you can literally fire a tracer arrow, which is right here, and skadoosh. So now, whenever we do something like this, it should track, which, I mean, that could lead into some insanely cool damage. I mean, granted, using a tracer arrow uses all of the... Oh, it's so cool. It uses all of your... Not all of it, but it uses a chunk of your... You use a little chunk of your gauge that gives you your coatings, which, I mean, that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it sucks. And also a thing that is a little rough with this is it doesn't have hit scan, so, I mean, it's going to be... I mean, of course, it's an arrow, so you're going to have to be kind of slow with it, of course, but, I mean... Okay, we're gonna load up the power coating now. And then each one can do some serious damage with a charging up attack on it. So like right there, I can charge it 3 times and do some more damage with it, and skadoosh. One, 2, and 3. And we'll do a tracer shot right to the skull, and then we will boom. So each one in this case, it will just follow him. See, all of the 1,000 arrow shots. So, I mean, it's going to make landing those shots immensely more easy, which is a sign that the bow could eventually be doing some serious damage. I just wish I landed that. I want to see what this thing's. Just so you know, guys, if you do end up mounting a monster, so weaken his head in as many spots as you can and then do the attack, because each one will get destroyed right then and there. And if it doesn't get destroyed, you still have a weakened spot that you can land and then like right after, which is a fun aspect that's going to be pretty interesting and good.
I gathered
Ow.
some materials too. Check your sacred's pouch.
Let's run up. Hey, buddy, chill. I'm using the wrong button. So the bow is actually a really good weapon because of the mobility dodges. I mean, your dodge also can be humongous. I mean, you have a huge opportunity to do some damage with it because you have the tracer rounds, you have the, you know, the arc shots that shoot those arrows, which means you can also do kind of the, hello. You can do your focus strike with it as well, which I see, and each one can build up to 3 times. Meaning you can shoot 3 arrows at each one, which, I mean, it adds up. And if you have the power coating activated, I believe it also... It does not, actually. That is completely my bad. But, I mean, if you're using the coating and you still build it up, you can just continuously keep it going because each coating now is infinite. Before, you used to have to build them, craft them, buy them along that line. But just having all of that there, giving it free, and you also have, like... tracing shots, you have the arc shots that land the tracer rounds, you can have the wound, you have Thousand Dragon, which you can almost guarantee to always hit if you follow it. If before that you always guarantee that you're going to use it with a tracer round. Same thing with the, I think it's called Thousand Arrow, Thousand Dragons, my bad. Same thing with Dragon Piercer. You have Quick Shot. I mean, the possibilities are almost endless, but let's get back to camp and we're going to take a look at the files real quick because I completely forgot to do so. And we're going to be talking about how it feels and everything in the scoring, and also what you could potentially use with this weapon as well. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, so you have the coatings. So you have the close range, power, pierce, paralysis, poison, sleep, blast, and exhaust. So you don't have elemental damage with bows, which I mean you probably do whenever you craft them because like it's the only, like one of the only things that you can actually get out there. At least I think. Give me a second to look. Yeah. So bows in themselves have element on their own, but you can also run it with close range coating. So if you're up close, you know, it's like a shotgun. If power just deals more damage in general. Pierce, it's like the Dragon Piercer, but just less potent with it. You have paralysis, of course, it's just going to build up paralysis. Poison, just sleep does same. And exhaust is more of a unique-ish one, I say that, but it basically just makes them run out of breath and stamina much quicker, leaving opportunities and openings for a lot of other options. And then you have your blast coating, which I mean, if you can rock blast with an element, that's just fucking nuts. Because, you know, it's just it's an explosive tipped arrow, and if you've never seen one of those in person, look up, oh god, what's his name? I think on YouTube, if you look up Gun Ranch or something along that line, this dude does a lot of like weapon stuff, and I think he does something with a explosive tip arrow at one point, and it's beyond cool. Basically, that's what the premise is on this. For that though, you're gonna want something with like stamina, evade window, or like a distance. Like the bow, it's basically all about stamina. I mean, you can get damage off relatively quickly. I mean, you could potentially get what's it called? I don't think the functionalities are needed anymore because each one has a compatible coating, but on top of that, you might be able to get more compatible coating with each, like with the functionalities as well. Like it's paralysis, poison, sleep, blast, and exhaust, which if that's the case, that'd be pretty cool because I mean you could have a bow that knows almost everything, and then you're just like, oh, I just need blast, and then you can, you know, give that functionality, and then boom, it can do it. But other than that, I would definitely say that this weapon is very beginner-ish friendly. I mean, you still kind of have to dodge and stuff like that because there is zero defense based on it, but you have a huge focus on mobility, and it is like it's insanely nice. And then having that perfect dodge option is also insanely good because, like I said, you saw how much stamina you got back with each of those dodges, and it's not like it was super hard to do it. You just kind of had a semi-target at the same time. And let's say if a monster has a fucking single attack that just rushes at you, you can just side hop it. It is pretty fucking nice. So would I recommend the bow for a beginner? Yes and no to an extent. I would not say if he's an end-ish game, swap to the bow. I think if you're learning the bow, it's probably best to start with it and then kind of get used to how it feels and aiming and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, the bow is an insanely good weapon. It has many reasons to use it. I mean, you can use it with some element. You can then give it the functionality, the power coating. And then on top of that, I mean, it's just a great weapon in general. So that's just, I mean, there's not really much to argue against it. I mean, the tracker arrow kind of made the bow seem extremely useful because now it's not just, do I potentially hit this, or is this just not even going to remotely touch? Now you can just, hey, track, boom, now I ain't got to worry about aiming for shit. It's literally aim hacks. What is so loud? Is it those dudes fighting down there? Y'all mind? Let's see if we can hit him from here, actually. Okay, now get out of here. It's fucking nuts that you can hit it from here up here. But for the scoring on the bow, I would definitely give, so if you haven't seen any of the other videos, it's a 3 through 15 scoring base, 3 different categories, one being one of them being versatility, then you got damage, and then you have just like how it overall feels like as a weapon. So for versatility, I mean it's not really super versatile. I mean, you have power, you have the coatings, which is nice, but it's strictly mainly just it's mainly just damage, so that's the only like main downside. But on top of that, I mean, I say that, but I mean, like, you can exhaust, you can paralyze, you can sleep, like there's a lot of things you can do with it. So I'm gonna give the versatility as a 4 because you can still do a lot of different stuff with it as by yourself and as in a team. But on top of that, like, it's not like you can use it as many other builds other than just damage, and then also doing these other few side effects as well, which it's not bad by any means, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the bow, which I mean, it's kind of hard to tell what my second weapon's going to be now, because there's a lot of weapons I enjoyed using, and other than that, I mean, this weapon's amazing. So now we're going to get to damage. It's nice to never have to worry about missing one of your shots because of a fucking tracing rounds. It's nuts. So I'm gonna have to give its damage also like a 5. And for just the use, I mean, it's very beginner friendly. It's simple. You charge, you kind of have to semi-manage stamina. It's not as draining as it used to be. And then on top of that, you can get the perfect dodge off relatively easily. So I'm also gonna give it a 5. So like, this weapon overall is insanely good. Does it benefit from a lot of skills that we have early on? Kind of, yeah, because we have stamina surge, which I have like be out there, which is beyond busted. And then it looks like you can get it ballistics as well. Let me see if I can figure out what that does exactly. Each one is ballistics there. Okay, so extends the range in which ammo and arrows have maximum power. So it looks like you can kind of just extend the range on them, so greatly extends range. It looks like you can be more of a sniper with, which is great, because I mean, you know, the further away you get from something, of course the damage is going to drop off, but it doesn't change the fact that still having it on there as an equipment skill just naturally is insanely fucking good. I mean, then you'll have to worry about, you know, equipping all this other stuff, and it could be a game changer for how everything works right now. Do I say it's a very beginner weapon? I mean, yes and no again, but if you are interested in the bow, I hope this video helped. If you know a friend that might be interested in using a longer range weapon, share this video and my last 2 videos with him to kind of make him or her, my bad, to kind of make their mind up, and hopefully it does help either one of you out. And if it has, please like and share, and also subscribe. It does help me out a bunch with the algorithm, and also to get to more of you guys that are just a little bit curious about these things from someone who isn't as like a seasoned veteran with everything, and also just not an absolute god tier player. I'm okay at video games. I'm not going to say I'm absolutely perfect or even god tier, but I'm able to hold my own in some circumstances, and I hope this perspective actually does help a bunch of y'all out. And if you watched every other video so far, thank you so much, and I hope y'all enjoyed. And following all that up, again, if you liked it, subscribe. It does help me out a lot. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.